Hey y'all, and welcome back to another real estate video about living in Galveston. Well, as you all know, the market right now is a little crazy, right? The interest rates have gone up from 3% in 2021 to 7% the most recent hike in October 2022, and forecast to go higher. A lot of you that have been watching us have said, wait, just a minute, maybe I just don't want to move to Galveston, or maybe I'm just going to hang on a little bit and kind of see what happens with the market. So in today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about that straight on in terms of just what the opportunity is, what the opportunity might be in the future, and hopefully answer some of your questions. So we're going to talk about the numbers. There's several things I want to talk to you about today though, about our real estate market, the affordability, and what I would do if I were you. So first up, let's talk about it. It's all in the news and on our minds is that interest rate we talked about. Rates have gone from roughly 3.5% to 7%, which might be shocking to a lot of people. But realistically, if you look over the past 15 years, the average interest rate was right at high fives and low sixes. So it's just crazy compared to what it was last year, right? Obviously, the difference today is that the average home price now in Galveston is almost over $400,000. A 30-year mortgage at 7% will cost you about $26.61 a month. But if interest rates increase by 1%, that same mortgage payment increases to $26.35 a month, about $300 more, which will price out a lot of buyers right out of the market. So if interest rates go up 1% in the next 12 months, that $400,000 house costs you $23.65 a month. If the price of the house drops 5% in the next year to $380,000 and rates go up 1%, the mortgage payment would be $27.88. The bottom line is you're better off buying today at $400,000 and 7% interest rate. If you wait till prices drop 5% but have to get an 8% mortgage, it'll cost you about $127 more each month. So if you're thinking about waiting until prices drop and rates go up, then it's going to cost you more each month. So you're not really saving money at all. So for many people, they actually have gotten priced out of the market. A couple of things I want you to think about as you're making the decision of do you move to Galveston or do you sell your home in Galveston and move somewhere else? Some of the fundamental things you should be thinking through to make that decision. Are you thinking about going with new construction? There's so many options that are starting to become available for you. Builders for the longest time weren't doing anything. I mean anything. They weren't doing incentives. Sometimes it was worse than resale because you still have to pay over asking, and then you had that unlimited kind of open timeline of when the home was going to actually be finished. Well, now builders are starting to lean in and say, hey, listen guys, that demand has slowed down just a little bit. So now you're seeing that they're offering incentives to get people to come back in the door. So if you're thinking about building new construction, or maybe you're looking for a little longer close, this could be a brilliant option. You can lock it in and get a little bit better deal. Now, an interesting tidbit, many of these builders are locking in rates now. So if you're kind of uncertain about what's going on, will interest rates continue to go up, and that sort of thing, many of these builders are helping you lock in your interest rate today. So if you have a little bit more certainty for an uncertain future of rising rates. One of the other things that I love about the market that we're currently in is that you're not having to go crazy over asking. You're not having to go $15,000, $30,000, or even $100,000 over asking just to get in a house. So when you think about it from an accountability standpoint, you're keeping more money in your pocket because you're not going against as many cash buyers and having to liquidate everything you own just to get into a house. So that to me is a win. If you're in today's market, the last thing you'll want to think about if you're thinking about building or buying a house right now is looking at how long is your horizon. Is it 5, 6, 7 years? It really doesn't matter if the market goes up and down and back up again because you're locked into what is today. Appreciation is long term. I'm talking to a lot of buyers who just feel like it's so uncertain what's going on with these rental prices, what's going on with these housing prices, which are still climbing, by the way. Interest rates kind of all over the place. If you lock in today and you're able to get a house that you love and your horizon's a little bit longer, 6, 7+ years, get some certainty in your life. That's the way I look at it. If you're thinking about buying a house and flipping it in a year, if you move all the time, like you buy it, fix it, and sell it, you know, you're one of those people that calls me up and says, Shari, this is the 15th time I'm calling you, and yes, I'm buying another home. Maybe you should rent. Maybe you should take the risk of, hey, what's going on with the market? If you're looking at a longer horizon, you may want to call Galveston home. Then I would settle down and make Galveston your home or your second home. Worst case scenario is we rent your house out for you if you're not ready to sell when the time comes. The question that I get asked all the time is, when does a real estate bubble finally crash? When does the bubble pop? Having lived through the 2008-2009 bubble, one of the things we know that's fundamentally different today than what happened back then was that there's people with a lot more equity in their homes than ever before. I remember seeing people have 100% financing. We're closing on houses. Essentially, you would close on a house and have negative equity. You also had people doing 1-year ARMs, 2-year ARMs, where people are paying 1 or 2% interest on their mortgage, and then a year or two it balloons up to 7, 8, or 9%. And all of a sudden, those people couldn't afford their house anymore. We also had a job crisis back then. Right now, we've had the lowest unemployment that we've seen in decades. So if you're wondering if we're gonna have this bubble crash or this bubble burst, I just don't see it happening unless we have massive layoffs. Unless we have people starting to do interest-only adjustable rate mortgages, ARMs, that are like 1 or 2-year balloons. Those are some things that could put us into a really bad position in the future. But as of right now in 2022 and 2023, I think the market will continue to rise 3 to 5% here and by the end of the year. Now, what does all that mean? Well, it just means that the market's still really strong, that we're still in a seller's market. It's just not as crazy as it used to be. Now, I think that's actually healthy. People often ask me, oh, you must really love this real estate market, huh? And I always say, no, I hate the market we're in. 6 months ago, we're getting 10, 20 offers, $100,000 over the asking price. Y'all, it's just not sustainable, and it's not something fun for you, the buyer, or us realtors. Writing 6, 7, or 8 contracts, sometimes more offers for our clients just to get one accepted? This is really an exciting time for everyone. I mean, well, homes are taking a bit longer to sell, but buyers are starting to see more options. And I think that's cool if you're uncertain and where you are in life in terms of moving or not moving. You're just looking for a resource, and that's what I'm here for. I'm not here to sell you a house. I want to be your real estate agent for life, so feel free to reach out. I'll walk you through the numbers, and we'll figure out a plan that's best for you. Depending on what your financial situation looks like, depending on what your motivation looks like, all that kind of stuff. So reach out to Shari at ShariLovesGalvestonBay.com, and my team and I will help get the process started. We'll take it from there. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure and check out the next video.